everybody. Hello, hello. Jessica Coulter here, CEO and founder of Ace Cookie Tutoring. Before you go and celebrate Memorial Day, have an awesome weekend with friends and family, I want to wrap up our summer school video series. So let's talk about schedules this summer. I want to know, parents, do you have it figured out yet? Or is that what you're planning to do this weekend? Is that something you aren't going to worry about? Let me know down below, if you would, what your plans are for summer, what schedules, what routines you hope and expect your teens to follow. So let's talk about this and, help you keep your sanity, help your teens have some sanity by the end of the next couple months. Now, before I really get going, though, I want to join. I'm having trouble talking today, so sorry, guys. I want to encourage you to join my Facebook group if you're not already a member. Link in the description. So here we go. Why is this a myth that only kids in summer school need to have a routine? Well, the first reason, pretty obvious, pretty broad, is the fact that all kids in school, pretty much everybody, every day, needs to be learning. But it's especially important for our teens, for our tweens, for our kids that are in between grades. We don't want them to lose any knowledge. Like I mentioned earlier this week, the summer slide is a real thing. If your teens don't read, they don't practice their math, they don't write, they are not going to be as ready for next year as they could be if they did some practice. Okay. Now, if your kids are taking summer classes, they're going to be learning. They're going to be retaking a class that they failed, or maybe that they barely squeaked by, and that your child's teacher, the school has decided, really need to get a better understanding of this before moving on. So, what do we do if your kids aren't in summer school, but you want them to do some learning this summer? Well, that's where the routine comes in, okay? We want to have an awesome plan for you, an awesome plan for your teens. If you came to my event not so long ago, the Parent Survival Guide to Summer Routines event, you have some ideas already, but if you missed that, then do know I have resources in my group. So that's probably the reason I'm pushing the group a little bit. And also do know right now we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, so make sure you're a follower, make sure you're a subscriber of my YouTube channel, Ace Cookie Tutoring, because I go live almost every day, have so many resources available in both places. But let's get back to this routine thing here. So decide for yourself and have a conversation with your teens, because especially the older your kids are, say if we've got high schoolers for sure, they need to be involved with coming up with this schedule, coming up with this summer plan. And one of the very first things I encourage you to figure out with your teens is, when are you going to be up every day? Moms and dads, if you're gone by 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, back at the office, your kids could be sleeping all day. Is that okay with you? Is that not okay? Okay. Do also know if you're working at home and your teens are at home because they're too young to have a job or they don't have a job, do you want them to have friends at home all day? Do you want to have a crazy house with your teen doing whatever your teen wants to do? Or do there need to be some limits, some times that are good for you, good for your teen? So those are two ideas already. Waking up and what's going on at home if you're home versus you're not home. Because that's another thing to consider. If you're not home at the office, but your teen wakes up, well, who do you want at home with your teen? Okay. Now, we haven't talked about learning yet when it comes to the schedule. I want to go back to summer school for a minute. So your teen is in summer school, has a routine, has to be there certain hours. Homework's going to be due like always, probably tests, all sorts of projects. Now, what happens when your teen's done with summer school? Well, the easiest answer is if your teen finishes summer school, say at the end of June, and now we have about a month or so before we go back to school, well, you use that same time your teen was in summer school for learning. They don't get to just do what they want anymore. Let there be some learning that happens. And I encourage some of that learning. Say your kids honestly don't have any idea what summer school hours are. I've heard some of my tutoring students say it's like a half a day for 2 classes, and other kids have told me it's like just 2 hours for 1 class. So I really am not sure. But just know at least half of that time your teen would be in summer school. Once they're done, have that be learning. And I want that to be reviewing some facts, some reading, some math, and then also let them learn whatever they want to learn. I've shared all sorts of things in my group about some ideas. And like I said, at my event, we shared some ideas. But do you know, getting them outside, having them do some research into something they've always wanted to know something about. There's a hobby that you can teach them. There's a hobby that they want to learn. Those are all examples of learning that need to happen, that can happen. Okay. Now, for all of our kids that aren't in summer school, I want to give you a pat on the back. I'm going to give them a pat on the back. If we have passed all of our classes, we have no need. If we're going to be taking classes in the fall instead of summer classes, we talked about that earlier this week, kind of the pros and cons of that. But do you know, for kids like that, they're retaking something, I would follow pretty much the same summer school routine. We need to do lots of review to figure out, okay, what's missing, what content did we not get to pass that class, or is it some skills? So that's where my Love to Learn program comes in. Maybe your child just doesn't know how to learn. Maybe your kid doesn't like to learn because he doesn't know how to learn. So do know kind of base minimum requirement that I would suggest that you follow, that I would encourage you to talk to your teens about, is I would shoot for bare minimum 2 hours a day, every day during the summer, Monday through Friday, because teens are in school for a lot longer than that. And yeah, it's summer, yeah, we're having fun, but if they go from 2 or 3 months of absolutely no learning at all to then all of a sudden we're back in school 6 hours a day, your kids aren't going to be ready to continue to learn, and their schedules are going to be all out of whack. So definitely that's another kind of sub reason for a routine is your teens are used to having a schedule during the school year. It makes perfect sense for them to have a schedule in the summer as well. It's a much easier transition from school to summer and from summer to school if there's already a routine in place. And instead of having to create a routine, all we're doing is tweaking it. So, and this video went a little long. I felt like probably I should have broken it up into 2, but I know I have Memorial Day plans. I know you do as well. So just wanted to come to you and, let you know routines are an important thing for you to have, for your teens to have this summer. And I know a lot of us view Memorial Day as kind of the start of summer. So, think about that, talk about it this weekend, try to have it implemented, I'd say, within the first week or 2 of June. So you guys have an awesome summer with your teens. So your teens enjoy spending time with you. And so you don't just count down the days until school starts again. So have an awesome day, awesome weekend. Remember, join my Facebook group, Teaching Teens Love Learning, by clicking the link in the description if you're not already a member, so you can learn how to help your teens love learning. Bye. Talk to you guys next week.